Hello again and welcome to the fourth video of the Year 2 New Curriculum Spelling List of Common Exception Words, Keywords, Tricky Words, Irregular High Frequency Words, called many things, but the general term is the Common Exception Word. Now, we finished the last video with the word pretty, so we'll crack on straight away to get as many words done. And the next word is the word beautiful, which can be a challenging word to remember the spelling, but it is one of the Year 2 words to be learned, if possible. So, starting on the line, as always, up, down, nice straight line, bounce back up, and as we get halfway up, we curve to the right, back to the starting place to form the letter E. So this is our most challenging spelling word so far, I think, forming the letter A, forming now the letter U. And it's these three vowels which are hard to remember which order they go up in. Here we have the letter T, back down, form the letter I, form the letter L, which is going to interfere with the letter Y above, I'm afraid. Loop to the left, cross over diagonally, form the letter U, and end with the letter L. And I'm going to squeeze it to the left of the P. And lead out. Lift, cross the T, and dot the I. Now you might ask, why am I not using spelling or handwriting paper which has lines in between the main lines? Well, in reality, all pupils' exercise books are lined like this, where they are expected to write on every line unless they're changing paragraph. Now, something to note here, apart from the slightly difficult E, A, U, three vowels in a row, is that the word ends in one L, not two L's, so that's something to remember. Also, it may be that your child's school will ask that the letter F goes as tall as the T's and the L's and the D's. I prefer personally that it doesn't, but it's personal choice really. So this is a good contender for the look, comma, write and check method. So we look, B-E-A-U, bow, but it's pronounced beau, isn't it, which makes it tricky. Beautiful, B-E-A-U-T-I-F-U-L. Perhaps remember it in sections if that's easier. Cover. Say in your head before you attempt to write it, B-E-A-U-T-I-F-U-L. Only one L. So have a go at writing it. You might like to pause the video now. Once you've done that, you check and see if you've got it right. Don't worry if you can't spell it right at this stage. It's something you'll eventually learn. Our next word is the word after, such as after school, we have after school clubs. Starting with the letter A on the line as always, a nice curve here, but we stop at that point as we do in the letters O and C. Back to form almost a round circle, but actually what I'm drawing now is a straight line. Back down, so it's different from the letter O to that extent. Now the letter F, which from personal choice I go just as tall as that, but your child might be expected to go almost to the line above. And it's now the letter T, which is going to interfere somewhat with the P above. This is why I think it's important, I should have gone taller, Try and do that again. E, and, which should be a little bit bigger, and R. Lift and cross the T. So this is why I've always suggested in these videos that you don't touch the line above, otherwise it interferes too much. Next word is the word fast. So the letter F starts on the line, up to about that point, down, looks almost like a bow, curve to the left, round, loop round to the right, form the letter A, looking like a C at the moment, but here we go up to there, lead to the letter S, because this is the word fast, as in she is a very fast runner, lead to the letter T, almost the line above, back down, lead out, lift and cross. Now we have another word in this particular spelling pattern that goes with fast, and it's the word last. Like, I was last in the queue for lunch. Starting on the line as ever, L, back down, A, back down, S, stop at that point, go back, here's our snaky-like shape, lead out to the letter T, back down, hook or flick to lead out, lift and cross. So, fast, last, similar spelling pattern there. One more in this pattern, and it's the word past, like the past tense of a verb. The past tense of tell is told. On the line, P, halfway up, back down below the line, bounce back up, curve to the right, a bit like the curve shape we make in a B, form the letter A, up, back down in the straight line to form the letter S. And up to form the letter T. Lift and cross. I've done a little bit of a clumsy drawing there. That's not so pleasing. It should look a bit more like that. Anyway, the next word is father, as in father and mother. Father. Start with the letter F, almost to the line above, but just over halfway, down, curve, loop to the left, slope up to the right, form the letter A. Now to form the sound, the TH, T, H, bounce back up, curve over to the right, hook or flick to form the letter E, and the last letter, you've guessed it, it's the letter R. Up, down, bounce back up again, loop over to the right, and lead out. Lift and cross the T. Now, one mistake that people often make is to add an extra R. Where do you think that is often placed? It's often placed just here, between the A and the T. But try and remember that the word father has just 6 letters, and there's only one R, and it's at the end. So look, cover, F-A-T-H-E-R, say in your mind, F-A-T-H-E-R. You might like to pause the video at this point and have a go at yourself. Lift, after you've written it, and check, and hopefully you're right or almost right. So with practice, you'll get better and better, and muscle memory helps us to remember these patterns, especially if the writing is joined or cursive. Next word is the word class, such as, which class are you in? I'm in 2B. Now, starting on the line, form the letter C, but like forming the letter O at the moment, go back on ourselves, but we don't complete the circle. We lean over to the right here to form the letter L, up to the letter A. So very similar to the C at the moment, but on this occasion we do join, but more in a straight line rather than the O, which would be a nice round line, down in a straight line, and we form the letter S. And you're probably expecting this, another S. So we're making the word class here, such as class 2A, and lead out with the usual hook or flick and lift. Our next word is the word water, such as there is water in the school pond. So starting on the line, our W, we go up, slope down to the right, slope up to the right, slope down to the right again, slope up to the right again, and our hook or flick will take us to the letter A. Down, up to form the letter T, and finish with the letter R. Loop over to the right and finish with a hook or flick, lift and cross the T. Now, I've often found in classes that children often add an extra R there when it's not needed for the word father, as in father and mother, and the same in water. Teachers often find that when a child writes the word water, they put in an extra R between the A and the T, but it's not needed. So, look, cover, in your mind, W-A-T-E-R. You might like to pause here, write it down, lift and look. 5 letters, W-A-T-E-R. The only one R, and that's at the end. There should not be an extra R there. Now, time for one more word, and it's the word again. Starting on the line, form the letter A. Up, down, going on to the letter G. Down below the line, curve to the left, loop round, diagonally, slope upwards to form the letter A. And this is where this word is tricky to spell. That's why it's a tricky word, because it doesn't really sound like it, but there's an A, and then an I, and then an N. Lead out with hook or flick, lift and dot the I. So again, this is a tricky word, a common exception word, and it's a good candidate for the look, cover, write and check method. And unfortunately, it's a case of learning that it's A-G-A-I-N. It's a word that is often spelt wrong until later on in school career. Anyway, that's the last word we're going to do in this session. We'll start again the next video with a couple of words, grass and pass, which have the same spelling pattern, and they appear at this point here. So we've probably 2 more videos to get through these words, I think. Thank you for listening. I hope you're finding this useful. Please do subscribe to the channel, and if you've liked it and found it useful, please do click like. It's always helpful to get feedback. And until next time, bye-bye.